Meanwhile, Chuck Schumer, and we could talk about this in the funner hat, but Chuck Schumer went to the National Press Club. I guess he did this the day before Thanksgiving. So he didn't want to make too much news. Just wanted to make news with people like us, essentially. People a little bit more attuned to what's going on in politics. Now, you know Chuck Schumer has been vying for the Senate Majority Leader for quite some time. He and Dick Durbin, supposedly, are rivals for this position. And they've got to be looking at 2016 now. Chuck Schumer came out and said, Democrats must embrace government. It's what we believe in. It's what unites our party. And most importantly, it's the only thing that's going to get the middle class going again. I totally appreciate those sentiments. We must convince the middle class that the only way out of the morass is by embracing a strong and effective government, not demeaning it or running from it. I agree with that as well. We should also say that Chuck Schumer was responsible as the head of the Democratic Policy and Communications Committee for presenting that message, at least in the context of the Senate, which was the only body controlled by the Democrats. But he goes on and makes the case that Democrats should not have tried to tackle health reform or health care reform that early in President Obama's first term, but instead should have done things to help the middle class. Now, what those things are, he doesn't really say. Now, this is the senator who represents Wall Street. And one of the things, it seems to me, the primary thing that we could have done is given principal reduction for homeowners. And I can't imagine that's on Chuck Schumer's list. In fact, it really is striking that he would come out and say something so specific insofar as we shouldn't have pursued healthcare reform, but we should have pursued other things that I'm not going to tell you what they are, because I really am not in a position to actually say what they are. I don't know. I found it very strange. But I just don't understand where he's going from this. I don't think there was any way to avoid 2010. It didn't have to be the drubbing that it was. And I certainly would have liked to seen more rhetoric. And I certainly would have liked to seen a larger stimulus package to begin with. But the other things I would have liked to have seen would have been a more robust regulation of our financial markets, direct homeowner relief, all things that the investment banks would not have appreciated. A bailout for homeowners instead of one directly to the banks. I don't think Chuck Schumer was out there pounding the pavement for that.
He's like, I was really shocked that as a main point person for the financial services industry in the United States Senate, that I didn't need to be put in a position to kill legislation to help homeowners.
That's right.
That really shows a strategic miscalculation on part of the administration that I didn't need to do that.
When I think of all the wasted energy that I spent on trying to figure out how I would kill proposals that never came up, I feel like I left a lot of effort on the table.
I mean, look, I enjoy meeting with lobbyists from Goldman as much as the next senator who's in the pocket of Goldman. But that said, it was a lot of breakfast for nothing.
So
other than some good contributions.
I'm not exactly sure what Schumer, what the idea, what the theory is behind here. But I think a part of it is a way to sort of take some of the momentum out of the sort of the Elizabeth Warren wing of the party, right?
By kind of hugging it, though. He's by hugging it.
Co-opt the rhetoric.
Right.
But if you don't have to offer any proposals,
right,
it becomes much easier. And like I say, he's He's made sure that Mark Warner is now part of the Senate leadership. Mark Warner nearly lost his election in Virginia because he was so third way.